Hello, pewters of the world, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the legally distinct Talking Adnb. The trend I've been using of taking the acronym of the thing that would have the obvious acronym, and then taking the last letter and shifting it forward, one in the alphabet, doesn't work as well with this one as it does Adnatch and RPSN. I'm gonna be honest, but you know, Adnb, still pronounceable. Anyways, for this episode, we're going to learn everything we can about everyone's favorite, at least like top 3 favorite. This is the wrong profile. At least top 3 favorite phallic symbol in hit video game ad nauseum. That is, of course, Sterlie towel. Now we're starting off here. This is the closest save I have. I'm probably going to ramble like a lot during this, but I have a general script of things I want to talk about. Goes to witness, right? Now, perhaps the first thing I'll bring up to notice is crepuscular hours. I have never, noticed that. That's probably worth noting. Where's your... whatever. Crepuscular hours, worth noting. But the first thing I want to bring out, there's the basic structure I'm going to go through, is I'm going to play through some sections of ad nauseum with relevant evidence, and then I'm going to compile all of that evidence and go back over it with you to kind of show everything. I want to show all of my evidence, and then show what that evidence leads me to. Doesn't lead me to believe, but leads me to think is interesting speculation. Alright. First thing worth noting is, of course, the Sterlie theme. The signature I give is definitely the intro bit, which you can hear now. I usually use Sterlie Anthem as my, archetypical song. I think Sterlie Sings might also be a good archetypical song to, base leitmotif analysis off of, but I usually use Sterlie Anthem. That doesn't really matter. Here, for this, what's good to keep in mind, I will bring it up. The largest atrium in the clinic. Glass canopy. Love this. This glass canopy might be worth taking note of because Sterlie is in witness. I think it's kind of unclear. Yeah. Oh wait, no. There's a shortcut through witness to there. Okay, well, maybe I should read the text before I talk about it. Highest area in witness where Sterlie is, so Sterlie is in witness, which is a glass dome, is also in witness. So it's so high over like you're falling. Well, from the bottom and inside. Gauge how big is it is from either spot. And made to protect anything. What's going out of Sterlie's halo. Atrium. All entrances from sub-atrium floors. Do we have a definition on what sub-atrium means? I might be stupid. But, there's another thing we'll talk about later. High up in close vantage point, you say? How interesting. You don't know much about me, sir. Okay. That. Not directly related to what I'm talking about, but extremely strange moment nonetheless. So far, the only things that the tendrils have reacted to are Serene almost talking about the second retainer, Taleda, and this, and her leaving for more, I think. I don't know, I think Viva will probably go over some of those better in her second next episode, and whatever. It's really strange when it chooses to do this, and especially here. This seems to imply that the tendrils specifically don't want us being friends with Jika. At least that's how I'm reading it. Which is really strange, because the running theories for what the tendrils are Providence, who is Jika's boss, and so, like, there might be something there with, like, Jika caring about Serene, getting in the way of Providence's plans. It's kind of implied also if you think the tendrils are connected to Providence, then Jika warning Serene against the tendrils. Jika warning Serene about the tendrils, about things that are folly, and about there being only one retainer is weird, because it's kind of her acting against the actions of the tendrils. So if the tendrils are Providence, then why is she acting against Providence as well? I guess you could say maybe that there is some sort of tension between Providence and Jika. Then the tendrils getting mad when Serene is Jika's friend kinda makes sense, but it's only for this moment. Point is, this is weird. I want to bring attention to it. From the few bits of motivation we get for the tendrils, arguably, like, the only one, because we don't actually know for sure what Under From Over represents as a dream. It's been implied that most dreams are combinations of, like, memories or visions or thought processes, and, you know, there are somewhere between 2 and, like, 5, maybe? I think there's a way you can swing there being 5 people in Serene's head. Kinda 6, if you're willing to accept possession theory, but, Anna, which you shouldn't. It makes no sense. I have entertained it in the past, though. So yeah, that's up to 6 people in Serene's brain, whose memories... maybe more. Maybe more! Imagine! Up to 6, 7... 44, let's say, people in Serene's brain whose memories could be merged into a single dream. So, any interpretation of dreams is kind of vague. This is a concrete action that the tendrils take. And so if we want to get the tendrils' motivations, this is a thing to zero in on. Also, notably, doesn't necessarily make that much sense with sending... She says she doesn't give a shit about the Sterlie crusade, and while I have the personal opinion that everything Cindy says, nearly everything she says, in the Dark Passenger scene, the only time she talks, actually, well, other than, you know, feeding Serene LSD and screaming, "Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare!" Most of what she says there is a lie, because she's actually just Serene's alter, who is putting on a brave front for specific reasons that we're not entirely privy to, that she remembers, or at least partially remembers, stuff. Serene didn't. This should be its own video, but I've kind of also gone over it in, like, bits and splotches in several different places, and so I'd probably be repeating myself a lot. But I already do that plenty, so I'll surely do that. Point is, this doesn't matter at all for the thing I'm actually talking about. Stairs really are a problem subject for Jika. But I do want to, at some point, analyze the actual random noise of this game, because of how normal I am, mostly. There is some interesting stuff. Do our highlights have noise? It doesn't matter. Point is, hey, wait. Do character outlines mean something? I know Amber's outline is all staticky, and it's white static. Not white static. I probably need special words to refer to all of the statics, because there's a lot of them. Her outline is like white and it's staticky. When she's opened her eyes. I can actually just check the, I don't want to check the talking Adnb because YouTube hates me. Back when she was training. Another thing that this video is not about, but it's interesting. When was Serene, like, training? There's... We're gonna quick save this, because it's something extremely strange to me, personally. I love RPSN. Here's a fun secret about RPSN. It actually, waits for 2 seconds, between swapping out files. Like, it pulls all the files out, waits 2 seconds, and then puts them back in. This is mostly so that, users can know what's happening. Because if it happens instantly, you don't really understand. But having, like, a window pop up and say, moving files, even though it moves files way faster than you can notice, is actually very, like, useful so that people know what's happening. I mean, that's what throbbers are there for, really, is to make it clear that the system hasn't frozen up. And granted, I don't actually have a throbber, because I'm bad at coding, and also my fucking regular Kepler-Poinsot polyhedra romanceable characters and ad nauseum and also serene shapes are like massive files, and I'm bad at compressing files in general. But the Linux version of this is actually slightly better, because I did some other updates in the Linux version that I never pushed as a patch in the non-Linux version, because I'm way too lazy to do that. And that includes taking the files out, putting them back in, and then waiting, which is a nice quality of life, because RenPy takes time for it to update its save things, and so putting the files in and letting it update while you're seeing the throbber rather than having to wait after would be a very nice quality of life. And it is a quality of life, but only in the Linux version. And I don't even know if it like actually works. I think it works. There's only actually one person who's downloaded the Linux version, and it hasn't complained, so I'm going to assume that it works. Alright. I do not want to overwrite my save. To load. Dogger. Should steal. Everyone remember that! Serene is not someone who steals things. She should not steal. It would be rude to steal from people. It would be just extremely unkind of her to steal. Oh, I don't. How do I not have any? Oh, right now it's sharps. It would be extremely rude for her to steal things. This is my second playthrough, which I didn't actually do very much completionist stuff on, so I don't have any stuff here. That's Piamat's outline, isn't it? Yeah, that's Piamat's outline, huh? This, which I can't make out because of the borders, which I don't actually know who the borders are always. I think they're always there. It's weird, because I have to also resize my window like a million times, and so there's always going to be some black borders. Hello, Chica. Ooh, hexagons. Those aren't regular, though. They're too long, I want to say. Like, too long this way, maybe? I don't know. Definitely not regular, though. It's way too short this way. Those are circles. This doesn't matter, but it's fun. Interesting. There's some blues here. That's probably just shading. It's probably just shading. I haven't spent a lot of time looking at backgrounds. It's also, yeah, I haven't spent much time looking at backgrounds. What happened? Got her excited. That's never happened before, has it? Okay, here's the thing, okay? Look very closely at her next line. Okay, here's the thing. Swapping back over to glossary for a second. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Is everyone's favorite USB number 5. Alright? Okay, so we know, thanks to calendar lore, paratext moment, that this is Piamat's birthday, which probably means that the donation Quillo made was like Piamat's DNA, and that it, or she cummed in a vial, she came in a vial, and they put that in a test tube, and then a Piamat come out. And notably, this is a donation turnover. This is not when Quillo makes the donation. This is when the donation turns into something else. Turnover has a couple different meanings. But in this case, I believe it is like euphemism / secret code, because this is a nursing vow thing. Notably, other thing that points to this being a nursing vow thing is Serene doesn't know what it is explicitly. And, nursing vow, famously very secret thing. Point is, I'm pretty sure that the donation turning over means that the genetic donation has, gone from some cum in a jar to a fully fledged human woman. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And, technically speaking, we don't know for sure that this is the Quillo we know, that this is the Piamat we know, that this is the Marcy we know, or that this is the Sterlie we know. However, we don't also know a Marcy. So I don't know why I said that. However, first off, we have... it would be kind of stupid if they weren't. And what this means is that Sterlie is about as old as Piamat, which is to say 31-ish. Wait, actually, exactly, 31, because letter Weiss, it is pronounced Weiss. It is not the German word Weiss. It is Weiss. It does rhyme with nice. We know this for sure. Well, okay, we technically wouldn't it have to rhyme with nice for have a Weiss day? Weiss day? Yeah, that also doesn't change. Keep in mind, put a pin in that, though. Put a pin in rhyming. Anyways, point is, this gives us information that Sterlie is about 31. Also, notably, this points more towards information about Sterlie and Piamont being related, or, not related, but being family. Um, the whole thing is weird because she says that the person who made the bunny painting is problematic, but her sister would kill her if she took it down, which is a strange thing. She could also be talking about a different sister. It's just kind of a strange way to talk if the person you're talking about is your sister. But also, secret lore, I can't, I can kind of pull it up. No, I can't really pull it up here, but, I might put it in post. We'll see. You can see in the D1 photos in the announcement channel, which, paratext moment, but it's fine, whatever. You can see a picture, which, you can see the pictures, some of the pictures in Serene's room, in Piamont's room, specifically this one, Piamont refers to as a picture of a family, of a large family, and we can see in the photograph in her room a bunch of silhouettes of girls with different hair color, and one who has cat ears and greenish hair, who is standing next to who I think is Piamont. Mystery who that could be. Could be anyone. Point is, also points towards this being the Sully we know, of her being about the same age as Piamont. Which is strange. Because Chica used to get cards there. I guess technically, I don't know. It puts weird pressure on the timeline. There's a lot of stuff with Chica that puts weird pressure on the timeline. She also has a family that's probably still alive. What's that? We're gonna go back. Samurai Stack. If we go. No, wrong one. There's this one, but this one doesn't have a date. Serene says it's old news. It's at least a little bit old, but also, we have a bottom. When Willow dies is something that's worth noting, I think, worth figuring out. A lot of things are interesting. Past 20 years, you say? This might be interesting. Could mean there might be Sterlie trading cards about Giga a long time ago, before 20 years ago. Interesting. Is first an acronym? That's probably an acronym. Let's keep an eye on Clickpea. Headless time is a specific term, also, which is interesting. Right. Is it? This one. Maurice. I believe. Yeah, okay. So, by the way, just worth noting, Giving's Day is in, I think, Saddleclav? Yes, it is in Saddleclav, former Saddleclav, I guess, 29th of Saddleclav. I always pronounced it Saltclav, but that's just not true. Point is, yeah, oh, right. Yeah, this is at least 2 years ago. Which is interesting. Because Serene is quite famously, 120 years old. You guys, so this is in the last 2 years. Giving's Day. interesting, though, that she's kept it around. And it's been almost... yeah, it would have been almost like an entire... Point is, she's probably kept this USB around for like almost half a year. That's 5 months? Yeah, like half the year she's kept this USB around, assuming she sent it around SoundCloud. It's a weird amount of time to keep it around. Because this takes place April 7th. And so, you can actually see that here, that it's April 7th. Nope, wrong one. Ego. Judge me for my humors, make fun of me for having no hope. Yeah. I always click on the wrong thing. Yeah, 7th of Wednesday at 5? It's 6. The timeline on this is weird. I don't remember. I think I did like a whole thing analyzing when this updated. Objectively the correct one. Yeah, this one's also good, but like, this one's so sweet. We should not, you know, but... I'm so good at getting stuff on payments. Chica's timeline is weird. She has family around, like, in modern day, which is weird. Probably worth thinking about. Someone might want to think about that at some point. That's about it, don't you think? Notably, I'm keeping going because there's another thing we need to put a pin on and remember. Yeah. Rules of reality, just toss it. Providence wants CW to suffocate. Hey! Providence wants CW to suffocate, question mark. Not for this theory, but someone else put a pin in that. Maybe the funniest line in the entire game. Because what the fuck do you mean Holocene and Manowar are more than capable of taking over? Listen, I love Manowar, right? She will become my wife. But the implication that Manowar, of all people, could become Retainer is really funny to me. Also notably, these are specifically the 3 women, or 3 tipses, who are promoted under Jika. Holocene's promotion is weird, and also, Thailand Holocene and stuff was weird. She very explicitly has had sacred scores for longer than she has worked in Sterlie, because she became a tips on entry a few years ago, 2 years ago specifically. Probably. That's what Serene says. Serene could be wrong. She hedges her bets on it, so I'm gonna hedge my bets on that being weird. No one would take the job as seriously as I do. Yeah, Holocene just like... I don't fucking know what she's doing. Yeah, maybe it's good second movement, maybe. Yeah. staring at us again. Something unseen about you. There's stuff with her looking at us. I almost wonder if it's something you should cross-reference with Nilly describing Serene's eyes as intoxicating. Granted, Nilly's like a pervert. Pervert isn't the right word. Nilly's just kind of weird in general, but, you know, girls keep getting lost in Serene's eyes. Something to take note of. Her, it's probably what's going behind her eyes. Well, there's a brain there. We're at the top of the tower, the one covered in a strange cancer of architecture. Have you seen it? Have you seen the Arms of Providence? You know this text is important because it's in purple. Did you touch them? Did Providence speak to you? Yes, earlier today. Mall beneath Laska. I'm interested in this because it's not the Happy Times Law Mall, probably, because Blood Mall is in. I can't call it the Blood Mall. People won't know what I'm talking about. The Happy Times Mall is in Laska. It's not beneath Laska. And also, it would be very weird for Jika to ask Serene if she has been to a mall that she was found dead outside of. Honestly, it's weird, because, like, it seems likely that the mall beneath Laska is connected to the mall inside Laska that we've already been to and have seen, and aren't allowed inside for some reason. And also it's Folly, I think. Maybe. We can check. Yeah, you know what, let's check real quick. We have quick saves for a reason. You can sometimes push Serene into doing things her gut tells her not to. Her gut? Put a pin in that. Tummy everyone knows hot girls have tummy issues. Serene's stomach is an OBP theory. I would rather you do. This is pretty Folly. We can also see it has parts of it. There's parts of it that are red of Folly, or red of Folly and pink of Folly, which means you need to be more likely to call it actually Folly connected. Blood Mall is Folly in color. Well, are you lying to me? Don't lie to me. She says it in bold. Is Jika the only person to talk in bold? She talks in bold at least twice. If Jika talking in bold is like her stand or something, that would be really funny. Everyone give it up for this line, which has probably altered my life, fundamentally. At least a little bit. Which is messed up. It's crazy what things can change your life. Anyways, that's that tangent over with. Baking, that means weed exists. I'm not gonna think too much about the Adnb universe ecosystem, because I think it's probably a partial dead end. I think if you ask the question, why is the Adnb ecosystem the way it is, where we still have like dogs and cats and stuff in a very, very different biological environment, I think the answer is probably, like, you know, Providence is a cat girl, and so she made cats exist. Or, you know, the clinic itself is a cat girl and it made cats exist because the clinic's probably alive. That feels like a big thing to say, but it just like feels right. I mean, the tower. What is? Excuse. I said. This song is... The song has Sterlie theme in it. I feel like Chica might have a theme that's in this. But Chica's theme also might literally just be Sterlie Anthem, which... Big if true, because it means her identity has been so subsumed by her work as a retainer that she no longer is able to maintain an independent musical identity. Up there with Yuffie trying desperately to escape, or in some ways trying to escape Rivian's influence and take her out of her life, but even their themes are the same. There's something. If I liked Rivian less, there would be something almost terrifying about that. Of trying to escape from someone, but literally the song that represents a fundamental part of your identity is the same as hers. I'm pretty dog at music analysis, so they probably have their own distinct parts. And that, I think Liza is out on the record saying that every character has their own theme, and so they can't have the same theme. Probably. I don't know. Darn tap. Magical girl, like Gothica and Mirabelle. I don't actually know if those are magical girls. One of them could just be like a normal person. They're I always believed you would. This line stands out to me. Yeah, I think that was Piedmont. I think this was Piedmont. That doesn't make any sense, though. She does have the hat and that's right. That's probably not. That probably doesn't mean very much. Oh, fun fact. I wanted to do a project at one point where I cataloged the humor effect of every choice in the game. I might still do that. Depends on how hard No Drugs is. I really like the idea of having to route dialogue in your game in a visual novel. Well, an immersive role-playing Gesamtkunstwerk. Immersive role-playing Gesamtkunstwerk. Having to route dialogue for a challenge run seems like it would be really funny. This one I actually did survey on. This choice changes your hope. I was at 20, now I'm at 10. If you take her hand, it would have brought me to 30. I'm pretty sure choices can only ever change one of your humors at a time. But I'm not sure on that, and it's really annoying to test. So I'll do it later, probably. It's time for stairs. Also, I'll have to get a shout out. Number one ship in the game, obviously. Sporty Gal and Timid Girl. Ship of all time. I cannot wait until we see them making out in disc 8, I think. Yes, in disc 8. I cannot wait for the secret scene where you can see them kissing each other. And watching the new season of Magical Murder. That dialogue has always kind of felt weird to me. Seems like, not complaining that. Kind of glad. Anyways, none of this matters. Some of this probably matters, but I can't think of any, was it? Editing Aradia here. Keep an eye on the specific wording of Serene and Jika going up the stairs. It'll come up later. Put a pin in that, even. There it is. Eyes open. One of my favorite scenes in the entire game. I think that's the same bell as the one that plays in the Psycho Break, right before you have the fucked up version of Abundant Absence, which is the only song in the game to not be on the extras menu or in the official soundtrack. Most songs are in the extras menu. Some of the reprises are only on the soundtrack, and some of the other songs aren't on the soundtrack but are in-game, or in the in-game extras menu. It's MASH! How did I never notice that before? It's massive! Sorry, the Sterlie Tower gets more phallic by the day. I partially push the narrative because I think it's funny, but like... Something, I cannot wait until the ad nauseum sex update. Sure. Whoa. Something like 20 years of Deltarune fandom has made characters saying things in color ruined for me. All it does is make me think of Chris, I remember your genocides. It's Frisk, I remember your genocides. Daylight's shining down from the halo makes it impossible to see the top. As you know, you are always welcome here. It's such a dumb line. I love it so much. Okay, yeah, put a pin in that one, gamers. Yeah, that one is worth remembering. It is a, as the ladies call it, surprise tool that will help us later. By the way, it's a fun fact. I think this heart is Volley. It's kind of hard to tell because it keeps turning dark, and you can't really tell the color of something when it's dark because it's simple as background. And it's also translucent, so translucent on translucent. Frightening, humbling. That's the Halo. I've actually played the Halo games. It's not a real video game. Halo only matters to me in that Valley is a Halo reference. I guess? Something about that. There's also a Corona is etymologically linked to the word crown. There's like a whole thing about crowns. There's, you know, Armel crowns. There's that one band that Sterlie likes. Amber has a crown. Ringling doesn't have a crown. I thought she did, but, I mean, obviously I haven't seen her sprite, maybe she does, but zooming in on her silhouette, and it only really makes sense when you're dreaming, I'm 90% sure that she just has a bow, and that her sprite in Disc 0 just kind of looks like she has a crown on it. If that's what you want to see, because it would be really funny if she had a crown, if she had a gay little crown. I'll make sure to visit at night. Another problem. I promise you. You promise me? You say? And then, like, I want you to imagine that when I said promise me, the words promise me were, like, in bold and, like, circled, and Mr. Beast was pointing at it, because that's the name of, Disc 8. It's maybe not the best idea to speculate on the names of discs, given they are subject to change. I don't know. Just normal things. Okay, so on my previous one sec, I can actually go. It's a little bit behind. Huh. I swear, every other time I did this, she was covering her eye. Maybe... I actually do think now that RNG is seeded per instance of the game. I was like, actually... There's one example I can do real quick, which is... I've actually had it as waking up for a while. Disclaimer. Fun fact about this, this quote is like a prank, because it might make you think that the quotable, the meme line, I need a better term to refer to these. It might make you think that this main menu line is specifically for all of our hopes and all of our dreams, but I'm pretty sure. One second. Yeah, go. Oh, you cannot see it at all. Oh, this is also the wrong one. Wait. Yeah. Oh my god, Taser! Hi, Taser! Oh my god, hi! I have no fucking idea. Also, it's only down from here, which I don't think, yeah, I don't think we've actually seen that one, unless we have, and I don't, which is likely. Oh, because I do. Oh, right. No. Yeah. You can see here, it looks better in my edited version that I'm not going to bother to pull up. But you can see, give, if you like zoom in and squint, give, and there's like a liney thingy, like a T or a Y, O, and then if you go down the line after that, something, okay, you got here, like an E, maybe like this is an E, and this is an R, and if you like, you know, if you do the contrast thingies, all the funny sillies, this is the entirety for all of our hopes and all of our dreams. Which also, this doesn't have the second Oliva. Which actually, that might actually be a big problem. If it not having the second olive. If it not having the second olive is fine for it being a quote. Yeah, there should be an olive before the dreams here. This is just an Undertale song. Point is, this says, for all of our hopes and all of our dreams, and this says, I give you the underkey, which implies that the two of them are one singular line. Though, also, it goes backwards in a weird way, but also, I don't know how the main structure exactly works. There's also D all that, which I don't think we've heard any of. Somebody saw mine. Oh, right. Let's go ultraviolet. Yep, sounds like a good idea. Wait, can I? Aww, the font can't display Greek letters. Always get, as I've said to her, but I believe that Renpai or Adna or something is instance deterministic, such that for each time you open the game, if you have the same input RNG, it will always give the same answer. No matter how many times you restart, as long as this instance of it is this one, it will always give life. I'm pretty sure it's true. Where the fuck was I? Anyways. Okay, whatever, never mind. Forget that entire tangent. Love out. I don't know what I'm talking about. RNG in this game is weird, and I might just be jumping to conclusions. Anyways. What is the Sterlie Halo? It's a massive ring surrounding the tower that's held up by countless beams of immense size. Put a pin in that one, gamers. Look up during the day. No, it's too high up. There's no angle or point in the atrium where you can see over top of it. I see. It was so dim light, according to the records. I went over and it was made of darkness. Look up it. Light. Back then, it scared people. They called it Lerachid. Teed? I don't know. Tid? I don't know what this is. That kind of gives, like, Gaelic vibes. But also, I don't know that, so, I don't know. Which is interesting if Old Font is both, like, Latin and Gaelic. It kind of makes sense. It kind of fixes the problem. No, but LibreCod is closer to Old Font than New Font is, which checks out with the Latin, French, English connection. Change, just like on its own, how or why. The Retained Rouge, the first Mark records, the tower was bright. How long ago was this? 224 years ago. Which is not 268, which is the year that it is. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, on the calendar it says, end of the Dark Age, Sanatorian year 0. Sanatorium is founded. Sterlie Tower's halo lights up the Grand Atrium, ending the Dark Age, Sanatorium year 0. Which from this point in time would be 268 years ago. Why are these two? What is it? It's 68. That's 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus. Huh! Hey! Those two records are exactly 44 years off, huh? This either means that the Dark Tower actually lightened up in Sanatorium year 44, and these two records are just, like, inaccurate, or something very... If the calendar had a mistake in it, which I'm willing to accept because it's paratext and it's not the actual text, but this is kind of the thing I talked about earlier of, like, you know, shadowboxing, investigating noise. If those aren't, if neither of those, if that discrepancy isn't an accident, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting, even. I have no idea what it means. It's also not related to what we're talking about. True, I can't because it says in the calendar. Chica, you're throwing. It's right there. It says it in the calendar. It's the calendar can lie to us, which is really scary. Okay. As the tower goes that way. True. Alley. Notably, Fontaine, it's unclear if Fecund Alley, or if Liebergott is in Fecund Alley? Fecund Alley? Fecund Alley. It is Fecund. I thought it was the... It's unclear if it is in the Fecund Alley. Or if it's its own thing. But this isn't... Or at least I don't know if this is Liebergott or not. Fontaine, also, not for anything in particular, but probably worth remembering that this is a place that exists. Quite some distance away. It is. I think Grand Atrium and Fecund Alley share a border. No, because Witness is in the middle of Grand Atrium, so even if Fontaine was on the border of Fecund Alley, it would probably still be a good distance away. It's an enigma. Oh wait, actually. Never mind, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, let's see that person. Pearlescent. Another thing to keep in mind. Pearlescent glimmer and pink sheen. Skeletism. That's just looks so mistaken. Sad. Conductive reflective material. Coating the outside. You're probably familiar with its name. Armel crowns is interesting. Not the same thing as a competition. Do we have trivia or lore on what Armel crowns are? We might. There might be a paratext moment there. But if there isn't, it's interesting. It is. Yeah, Tina, that is... I forget, I made it. I can do this. I want to say that's the Sterlie credit card. Yes, it is the Sterlie credit card. Oh my god! That's not why I made it the Sterlie credit card. I made it the Sterlie credit card because originally the Sterlie credit card made tokens. I thought it made sense for the thing that made tokens to be connected to the, like, biosynthetic thingy. How did I forget that the Sterlie Tower was literally made of patina? Or, you know, it's made of verdigris, but it has patina on it. Oh, this one's also, I know this one reduces your whim by, I think, 10? Let's see, my current whim is 65. No idea. Let's see what that is. Oh, I don't think that did anything. Interesting. Subatrium, which is, I think, where we are, it's unclear. I might have to review the tapes on that one. I also don't know how high up subatria means, but matte sand green. Is that a color? I'm going to pretend that's not a color, because it would be annoying. High levels of more iridescent. Once again, iridescence, pearlescence. Verdigris. Interesting. I don't think they're like green metals in real life. It's like old copper, but that's, you know, jade blue or. Man. This bit's really funny to me because Serene is a goddamn kleptomaniac and loves stealing from people, so of course you would know this law. Right. It's the line. The tower lives. No. Sterlie Tower phallic imagery intentionally dismantled like if you got bottom surgery. I studied for years to be a retainer candidate. How many? Don't worry about it. Many people do. Yeah. Which could mean nothing, but I'm not a Jika expert. I don't actually know if we have a local Jika expert yet. Spot, many, processing, favorite, swan, If you would like, you can put a pin in that. You do not have to, because it's maybe one of the dumbest things to put a pin into. But, like, I do technically have something to say about it. Maybe someday I can find a way to show you too. Haha, little does she know. Well, actually, little do people also know, because I have some stuff to say about that. Let's see, I think it is here. Elevator. Inclinator. Oh, this probably implies things about the way Sterlie Tower is structured, but I'm way too dumb to understand the physical shape of how that works. Technically, it's an inclinator. Time skip ahead. because I don't think there's anything interesting before then. There's this. Shout out to another Aquacara. Just a little thing sticking out. She has antennae, huh? That's neat. Go reflect. We don't actually need to reflect, but I will anyways. This is Are You Out There? It's another, what is that? This is another secret song, which is only on the, in-game extras menu. So we are above witness at this point, I think. I'm probably it. Could be anywhere. My old friends could be anywhere. Girl, if it makes you feel any better, good 50-50 chance that all of your old friends are like all around you and they're just like lying to you for fun. This is also a really good moment. Are you out there? Can you look for me too? I'm doing my best, but I need your help. Sis, just can't do it on my own. I believe this is Serenity, and I also believe this is one of the best moments. God, I love this game. God, this game is so fucking good. What the hell? Anyways. Oh, oops. Don't worry about that. This is why our PSN is so awesome. Have I seen this somewhere before? It's 29.1. Which one's that? Everyone just assume I'm plumbing the depths of my brain and not just checking the Google Doc. I promise, I definitely know this off the top of my head. This is Take a Break. She's left it up there. Interesting. Old news USB. It's old. How old? Don't worry about it. That's the second couch that's notably unused. Hey, wait a second. Hey. Now, notably, this is yet another thing which maybe means something. I have no idea what it means. Cause, like, one sec. Notably worn bad. Notably not dusty couch. There's nothing in here. can't tell if there's something that matters about couches being or not being used, or if that's just a good way to communicate information about the game. Let's do it. Alright. So we can go couch. That's all. I just want to thank you, Sarah's. 8 flights. You really hike for me, huh? Reminds me to get out safely. Yeah, really funny coming from you. She's not off tomorrow. Is she drunk on the job? Hey, we shall have Holocene cover for her. I wonder if that means we could, like, die at some point. And then we get to have Holocene rescue us. You know, swoon and all that. I forgot to take a screenshot of this. This... Can't check my humors. Fake evil game. What is... Hold on a second. We can actually use forbidden tech here. Okay. They are different sound files. There's a secret thing that happens for some reason where there's actually useful tech for music analysis, to be sure, if you have a hunch. If you have a song playing, in your main menu thing, and then you swap over to a save that is also playing that song, you will notice that the song has not reset or changed. This means that we have a way to check most songs and make sure they actually play when we think they play. But if they don't show up in here, they actually do that. I only know if it works in the main menu. So, profile, check profile. Yeah, okay. This might still be the same song as God's Garden, just with the, like, extra backing. I don't know. As the ceiling gets stored like a layered cake, that just gets taller and taller. I don't know if this matters or not. Oh, so we are still in witness. We're not above it. It's like a layered cake. It's like a layered cake, and the down of it looks like this. Okay, so that's a wall. That's all of witness. Wow, there. Oh, so that's a shot of it inside of Sterlie. That's probably obvious. That being the other the thingy. All of witness looks like this when you compare it. Yeah, spec down there somewhere. Okay. So, that is all of the necessary information. And now we get to go to the interesting meaty bit after a message from our sponsors. So it turns out those sponsors are like super problematic. Oops. Go ahead and platform them. Okay. Blood and pink drop. Oh, blood and pink. Serene's head has pink? Wait. Serene's head has pink. Huh. Does Serene's head have biosynthetics that we know of? I mean, you know, we can see here real quick. Load in here. We can drop that. Oh, by the way, this tune that plays when you open our thingy, it's actually the same it's the same notes as the ones that play the start of a disc, I think. I think it's the same as the ones that play at the start of the disc, and it's part of Serene's theme. One sec. I can't tell them here. One sec. Yeah, it might be. Anyways, I don't think there's any mention. Stuffing error 74, which I don't think means anything. Purple damage. I don't know if she has things that need locum in her brain yet. I don't know. It's maybe worth noting. Before it happens, before I... Does someone say something like this? I feel like someone says something like this. I might just be remembering reading this a lot of times, though. The text here describing Serene climbing and reaching the precipice is very semantically similar to the same text describing her doing that we just looked at with the getting the cool view and hearing Sterlie anthem. But the exact words used are like specifically different. Like, It's like it went through a thesaurus. The word top is changed to the word precipice, even though they basically mean the same thing. Once again, this might be a reference to what happened. I mean, what we just saw, her going up these stairs. Might just be a reference to what we saw, her going up the stairs, and of her going up. Sorry, I just wanted to check. Might be a reference to her going up the stairs there, but there's some very time loopy things. Hey. Hey. That's a very weirdly shaped hitbox. I don't know if that's a bug or not. If there's analysis to be done of hitboxes, I'm gonna eat my hat. That's a broken body. And you can see now we have the dream scan lines. These are scan lines that are in every dream. Every Disc 1 dream. I don't know what they mean, but they're worth noting. They're not in all of the dream. They're in every dream. Alright. Here is one of the most important things. I want you to read these words and I want you to remember them. I'm going to save here because I need to go over them again. So, we have a dark tower too large for eyes, reaching tall and piercing sky, one obscured outside dream, a dark tower witch, call Sterlie. Put a pin in this one. And then we have this. Note the word tower here. Also, note that, of course, Piamont is the one who's saying everyone here has a tower because she wasn't transcoded enough already. Come on, Squiddy, just touch it. It's probably not, like, you could probably do like 5 years of analysis just based off of which characters, accurately, which characters, say, which characters do which part of peer pressuring Serene. Also noting, you can see from the balcony view, we can see what looks like to be Witness, and something behind the tower. Also want to note, darkness here parallaxes behind the tower. It might be hard to see. I guess up here also, I think. Yeah, that also parallaxes, as in these two globs of darkness, I think, are in different parallax layers than normal, which does matter. And then we have this, other notable things. I don't know if the base of Sterlie extends down forever. It kind of looks like it's going under. And then also, you don't get to see the top of Sterlie, you get to see something up there. More on that later. Touch the tower. Sterlie. Notably, this is kind of still part of the dream. Maybe. It's unclear. All of this is unclear. Because this isn't the part where she wakes up with the coaching stuff. This is how the world ended. Remember this. This is how the world ended. And this is how it will end again. Now, after this is just, I want to bring your attention, gamers and gamers of the jury, please, wait, actually, don't worry about this. Background, there we go. Huh, I don't worry about that. Right. Compare with, where is it? Compare, for a second, with over from under. Well, it's like, doily thingy, or thingy, noise. I have not analyzed these backgrounds, because it seems annoying to do. I guess now I will have video of it on my computer. I'll probably make analyzing this seem a lot easier. Can you hear the, by the way, I think it's worth noting that a lot of the background of this is dubber. Once again, I'm not doing anything with that. We also see some footage of the elevator, or not the Berg, oh! Yeah, that is it's specifically, you can kind of see it. Specifically Laska. Like, specifically the Laska street outside of Certain's house is all over this, which is, you know, worth noting maybe. You very clearly hear the delusion motif here. I love you. This is her room. It's probably not as you could do of when the certain areas show up in this cutscene. I think this only plays for this. Okay, pay attention. That's why you came, and that's why you will come again. You will come again. Okay. Notice, compared to the Dark Tower, it says, this is how the world ended, and it is how... Just gonna bash through real quick. Show it again, because I'm bad at this. Just saved. This is how the world ended, and this is how it will end again. Notably, very clearly a reference to Over from Under. It even does the thing where it ends off with saying all of the, saying the whole sentence with the again part all as different images, like, you saw what it was. I don't need to explain it. But they only say it twice. In Over from Under, very specifically, you hear, that's why you came, and it's why you will come again, and then it does the flickery thingy, you will come again. They say you will come again twice, and that's why you came, means you get 3 of them. In the Dark Tower, you only get 2. Now, I am probably just going crazy. I am just going crazy. I was crazy once, and I am still crazy. I am definitely reading too deep into noise. But isn't it that kind of strange that the reference doesn't do the full reference? It skips one. And, as far as I know, and I've polled people and asked other people, and I haven't gotten any responses of other instances. As far as I know, the lines, where was it? It was, yeah, here. the line, "It's just a tower," and how it will end again are the only instances of the only instances I'm aware of the game referencing itself imperfectly. Like, to compare... to compare... Why did I click on that one? To compare... we can probably see behind this, "Did you wake up on the wrong side?" Okay. Here's the thing. Rena asks her explicitly, "Did you wake up on the wrong side?" They always talk about, I guess there's some stuff with people saying waking up a lot, but it's not a specific line. There's the specific line, "Did you wake up on the wrong side?" There's the specific line, "You have no fucking idea." There's the specific line, "Where's Taysa?" We haven't heard that one yet, but it is there. All of these lines, or like non-static noise, all of these lines are always perfectly referenced. Whenever something references them, it references maybe not the entire thing, but it doesn't add in or change any of the words. As opposed to the references in here. It changes pill gun, which, by the way, is, maybe I forgot to say, that "It's just a tower" is, for everything except the word tower, exactly what Serene says to herself before the psycho break. I don't get what the big deal is, or I think it is, "What's the big deal? It's just a pill gun. Everyone here has one." Does May have a pill gun? I don't care. I shouldn't care. May probably doesn't have a pill gun. Everyone here has one. I forgot it. Come on, sweetie, just touch it. This changes the word into tower. And the "this is how the world ended" line is extremely clearly a reference to "that's why you came." Like, I hope I don't need to explain why that's obviously a reference. And as far as I'm aware, there are not any other references to that line in that way. Maybe I forgot one. But this is the thing. The references in these are imperfect, and only in this ending. Unless there's other ones, which I forgot about, and no one else remembered to mention, in which case I'm looking really silly right now. The reason this matters, okay, is it kind of gives this ending a vibe of being wrong, of it referencing things incorrectly, getting some of the details off, but maybe getting the general idea right. And now I want you to pay attention to this poem. "A dark tower, too large for eyes, reaching tall in piercing sky." Two things of note. One, beyond eyes. Directly what Jika says, I pointed out earlier. Also, connected to what Jika said, piercing sky. Okay, this is definitely a more unhinged noticing that, once again, is probably me shadowboxing market noise. Why do they have a word for sky? Because the sky does not exist in ad nauseam. Why is the word sky here? Notably, right, ad nauseam generally is canonically written in New Font, which is not the same thing as English, but has been sort of translated into English. And Chica said that she doesn't think there's a word in any language to describe the emotion she felt. It's also worth noting that Adna in general uses neologisms quite a bit. I can think of Sonder is mentioned in one of the keychains. Sonder is mentioned, and Sonder is a word that was made up by the Encyclopedia of Obscure Sorrows. That book made a lot of neologisms. And also, of course, is one of the first words in the game, winnerific. Which, to my understanding, someone just put on Urban Dictionary one day. So, maybe there's something there. Oh, neologism, by the way, is a word that is like newly coined. Neologisms are just like new words. Okay, and also remember, eyes and sky don't completely rhyme, but they kinda do. One obscured outside dream, a dark tower witch we call Sterlie. The word Sterlie and the word dream do not rhyme even a little bit. This sentence ends with an ellipse. These parts, the first of each of these rhyming pairs ends with an ellipse. Every other part of this poem is part 1, part 2, separated by a comma. Part 1, part 2, separated by a comma. The rhyme is here and it ends in a period. Part 1, comma, part 2, ellipse. Part 1, hyphen, and dash. Maybe Rena Lane doing a Cindy impression is actually AI. Hyphen, we call Sterlie. And this is Serene interrupting an unknown speaker. And remember, there are all of those details about, remember those two things I said? There's kind of a theme in terms of quotes from other parts of the game being in this ending with minor adjustments to the words and syntax. Like maybe changing what we call this tower. Now, that is the end of part 1 of this analysis. We can now go in to part 2. Here, I have screenshotted every bit of information we just saw. There's this one, which doesn't really matter. It's what I brought up already. Every bit of information we just saw about Sterlie Tower, and one sec, we should probably group. No, that's not what grouping is. Whatever. Everything we just saw about Sterlie Tower, and this image of Sterlie and this image of the Dark Tower, and also this image, which I forgot to import earlier. Now, first off, I will note, this image is not one you will find in-game. All of the in-game images have these scan lines. I have gone through, and I have taken 2 different screenshots with different scan lines. Notably, I believe there are only 2 instances of scan lines, like it just flickers between 2 frames of them, which might make my life easier. Okay, and then we can go. I have taken both of those image layers, and I have put one on top of the other with Luma Light and Only. Light and Only also works. This effectively means that the images, that the pixels in this layer will replace the pixels in the layer below it if and only if they're brighter. Effectively meaning that these scan lines, being made of black, will be replaced by the not scan lines made of anything that isn't black and therefore is brighter because it isn't the darkest color possible, allowing us to get a much clearer image. Notably, this has some minor sacrifices because these 2 images were at slightly different parallaxes, and so you can see that these tendrils are a lot harder to see when you add on the second layer, and there might be some details that get blurred out. But they're probably easier to see blurred out than they are with massive scan lines in front of them. Okay. Now, let's see for ourselves. Does the Dark Tower fit Jika's description of Sterlie Tower? And I do want to note that it's interesting partially because we get all of this description on how different parts of Sterlie Tower look. Like, so many details about how Sterlie is shaped and what it looks like. And we have like 2 separate views of just looking at how Sterlie looks on the inside and outside. Almost begging to compare to what you might be led to believe is an image of all of Sterlie. One sec, do I have that screenshotted? This. She had a dream in which she was able to see the tower in all her glory. Here's the thing. We can't see all of the tower. Not in this. By the way, I'm going to be calling this the Dark Tower because I don't know if it's Sterlie or not. I don't think it is. Or at least, I don't think it's the same thing as Sterlie. I have more details on the exact details of that theory later. I can say them now. Basically, the idea is that the Dark Tower, on top of having some, like, on top of lightening up, maybe had other changes. Or that this image of Sterlie is, like, corrupted in some way. There are some differences in how it's described and how it looks here. I think. Maybe. It's hard to tell. Anyways. Yeah. We are not getting the same dream as Jika got. First of all, because this is Dark Tower, this isn't Sterlie. Even if they are, like, exactly the same otherwise, I have to imagine that the darkness, like Like, this is a scary dream. Chica did not describe her dream as being scary. I don't think we're seeing the same thing as Chica. And I also don't think that because we don't get to see all of the tower. Like, extremely clearly, part of the tower we don't get to see. Also, possibly, might extend down further than we get to see. It's hard to tell. It is worth noting that we get a very similar type of view between these two, which means we can probably interpret... Actually... Wait... Okay. Sorry, what I was doing there was cross-referencing how, like, big the details in this image of Witness is with this, which looks very similar, and it's presumably also Witness. And it looks like we have, like, about twice as much zoomed out, maybe more. Imagine. Real quick, other things to note. There are these clouds surrounding our image of Sterlie here. Could have just done that. Whatever. Yeah, there are these clouds here and here. They move with the tendrils, I believe. That's worth noting. Okay? And now, on to going through all of the rest of the quotes. There's this one, I kind of already talked about this one. References the poem. Okay. Where's the halo? I'm sorry. Is it... There are three things that could maybe be the halo. There's this, and there's this. All three of them are like kind of ringy shaped. All three of them, if we go... There we go. Here. Massive ring, surrounding tower, held up countless beams. Okay? The reason I think any of these could possibly be the halo is because if you do some image editing trickery, basically what I'm doing here is I am turning all of the darkest spots into completely white and leaving the rest of the image unchanged. This is so that we can properly compare, basically so that we can see the details about these darkest spots. And you can see, actually, first, let's zoom up here. Okay, right? We have this, which seems like the most obvious thing to be the halo. It has these, which aren't beams. Honestly, to me, they kind of, look, where is it? Kind of look like a, strange cancer of architecture, which implies this is the top of the tower, but it's also, like, not. And also, if the halo is here, this is the top of the tower. If the halo's here, this is the top of the tower, and this is the cancer of strange architecture, then you would be able to see the witness, you would be able to see the halo, that architecture from the ground. It would not be beneath that. It would not be within the halo to be voided out or, like, blocked by the halo in any way. If this is the halo, you can see these ribbons just by looking up. Unless there's something else that's true. We're not going to worry about that. Anyways, yeah. We have these could be beams, this could be strange cancer of architecture. There's another reason to think this isn't the halo, and it is if we pull it up again. Actually, save setting. Notice, one sec, this is extremely hard to see, but like, there are parts above this that are not pure black. And they just so happen to line up with some of the ribbons. Wait. Hold on a second. Wait, I didn't even notice that. Like, if we... That light is going into Sterlie. Like, not into the halo. It's going past that. Wait, that's really weird. Kinda lost my game there. Point is, there shouldn't be anything up here. This part should all be blackness because it's above what might be the halo. And I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Turn this up. You can also see these without it, but it becomes a lot easier to see them with it. We have these massive lines, which, honestly, not gonna lie, I don't know what else could be the massive beams holding up the halo. Yeah, countless beams of massive size. I can count the number of these, but I might not be able to count the number of these, which makes me think that these are the beams holding up the halo, and, once again, I don't know if you can see it here very well, but there's 3 groups of them. There are ones that attach to this. There are beams that attach to this thingy. There are beams that attach to somewhere up here. They might attach to this ring, and they might attach... This one seems to go past the ring, up into something. And then there are beams, very hard to see, that attach up from here up into here. And, notably, all 3 of these parts are surrounded in darkness. Which is to say, if this is a picture of Sterlie, I don't think there's a way you could argue that at the very least, these 2 are not 2 different halos that Sterlie has. And then there's this one, which is weird, because you can see past it. You don't need to worry about seeing past these, because, frickin'... Yeah, don't need to worry about being able to see past these, because of the... You can't see under them. Our view is too flush with them to have to worry about that. They do have a lot of darkness in them. Notably, though, as I said, this cloud of darkness and this cloud of darkness seem to be being cast on the background, which I have no idea what this is. It does not really look like these. Like these, you know, if anything, it's like slanting up like that, where it should be going like, I mean, we literally saw the, like, sketch of it. I didn't screenshot it because I'm a bad person, but we saw the sketch of how Witness's ceiling should look, and these don't look, and the background doesn't look anything like that. Yeah, there's these tendrils, which are just the folly tendrils, but, you know, not folly. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? One sec, let's scan through. There's Lyric Teed. Notably, my whole thing about how Sterlie and Dream don't rhyme, and so I think Serene is breaking the poem there. Teed rhymes with dreams more. It's a slant rhyme, maybe? Teed or Ted? Well, if it's to hid, Ted, Ted. If it's Ted, then it doesn't work. But Sterlie, Dream, and Teed all have the same vowel, but Sterlie is consonant vowel, and Tehid is vowel consonant. It's, well, you know, it's t, and then and then id. Sterlie, the e, the vowel, is the last part of it. Where, and with Dream, once again, it's d, or I guess it's dra, e, It's consonant, vowel, consonant. So is Ted, Tid. If it's Tid, then that's also consonant, vowel, consonant, which means it sounds more like a rhyme. I also don't know anything about poetry, so it's possible, because, like, you know, one obscure and outside dream, a dark tower witch we call Sterlie, does, like, fit. It feels right. Let's see, a dark tower too large for eyes, reaching tall and piercing sky, one obscured outside dream, a dark tower witch we call Tahid. Okay, no, that does work. That works way better. It does mean we're saying it's a dark tower we call tower, or a dark tower we call dark, but it probably fits more. What's that? Is it actually, oh my god, it's, where the fuck is it? I'm so organized. It's this one, I think. Where are those linked? I'm so organized. I am beyond your eyes. It's not beyond our eyes. How did I forget this? Yeah, no, it's a dark tower too large for us. It's not beyond our eyes. Oh my god, it happened a third time. There's a third instance of it being very, very slightly off from what it should be if it's referencing this. Okay, now I'm certain. Not only Does a tower which we call to heed still fit in the meter and rhyme better? It's... the poem doesn't reference this right either. Maybe I'm going freaking Adna crazy. Maybe... I don't know what would make you think that. Let's see, we've done this, yeah. We don't need to worry about this. It's something I took a picture of in case it mattered, but I think it's pretty clear. This definitely fits that description. Mainly it's saying, like... I guess you would have to be able to say a view all the way from, like, here. Here, that still hits the tower. No, wait. Yeah, the tower would have to be big enough. If this is part of Witness, the halo would have to be big enough to block out everything. Like, you could just look up here if you were down. If I was down here, and there's nothing blocking me, which I don't think there would be, I mean, we don't see anything blocking me, I could just look up there. So, like, if anything is the halo, this is the halo, and this is being a really bad halo because you can't see it. But, like, it's... it's not very good at being a halo because it's not pitch black above it. It's... like... these I can kind of excuse because it's possible that that's, like, artifacting. I mean, you can see, like, the borders these have. They're definitely art... no, because... that's really weird. These ribbons seem to get cut off, but these strands of darkness, these... I mean, the beams don't get cut off. You can see them. It's like, that's a beam, that's a beam. That's a beam. Can barely see it, probably. Yeah, wait, it's specifically the beams seem to be visible, even when they should be inside the halo's zone of darkness. And then this part of it gets blocked by this ribbon. So yeah, if anything's the halo, this is the halo, which means these aren't the cancer of architecture, or assuming, once again, this is a picture of Sterlie. These are not cancer of architecture. They're just, like, ribbons, I guess, that no one thought to, like, mention or talk about how cool they are, which is fine. There are a lot of things characters don't think to mention or talk about. And then this is... honestly, this might be, like, Iudanil or something. It has these colors, which is interesting. Worry about this. Is that Folly? Hey, is that Folly? Hey, okay, Google, is that Folly? I don't think that's Folly. Oh, it's also worth noting, another thing that I screenshotted that I don't think ends up mattering all that much is, yeah, no angle. So, this definitely has to be the halo if it's the halo. You know what I mean. Halo sucked in light. These halos aren't, like, sucking in light in a way that makes that much sense. Like this has color, and these don't seem... the ribbons don't seem darkened at all. But, like, there's darknesses around these. If these are halos, I don't know what they are if they aren't halos. I don't know what these beams are if they aren't the countless beams of immense size. These could maybe be the countless beams of immense size, like these? But that's not a beam, that's a ribbon. A beam is le strip. No. A beam is le straight. Anyways, last thing worth mentioning is the difference between pearlescence and iridescence. Because pearlescence is iridescence. It's specifically Sorry, I should probably clarify what iridescence is. People kind of probably have an idea, but it's like when the angle at which you view something changes the way it looks, and kind of gives it a rainbowy vibe. Probably the best example of iridescent things that people would know of are like oil slicks or bubbles. The purpley colors in those. And we can see those. But pearlescence is specifically iridescence, but like more white. It looks like a pearl. That's why it's called pearlescence. And these don't look very white at all. Like it's actually incredibly dark for what should be pearlescent. And we can cross-reference with these. It's kind of similar. Like you can see the chunks of white in that. Kind of gets darker as you go down. So it might just be the lighting. Cross-hatching that may be weird. And it's also, possible that schizotism is getting in the way of things. It's also weird how splotches... No, the splotches make sense because it's like the ridges, I think. Yeah, there is a pink sheen, but I don't know if there's pearlescence. We also don't know what patina looks like in general. So it's unclear. It's hard to say specifically how much of this has like a patina layer. Like this looks pretty green for what is supposed to be like covered by a pink thingy. But patina is probably more translucent than I think it is. That's a reasonable enough assumption. Okay, with that I think I've gone over everything. And it only took me 2 hours. Oh my god. This is Aradia, also known as Aradia, also known as Greater Hamajoshi Spirit. Signing off. Stay whimsical, pukers. Or, I don't know, stay delusional, pukers. This is Aradia in the edit, signing in. There's one thing I forgot to mention, and one thing I realized later. First is the thing I forgot to mention, is any argument that says that the tower in the Dark Tower ending isn't Sterlie has to come into conflict with the song called Sterlie Sings that plays when you see that tower. Which is kind of concerning, but I will note that the Sterlie theme is also connected to things that aren't Sterlie, most clearly with it being in God's Garden, which is the song that plays in the intro, and none of the intros seem directly connected to Sterlie. This definitely weakens my argument, I think, but I don't think it, kills it. The other thing is my whole discussion about, the angles you could see into Sterlie Tower with, changing what could or couldn't be the halo, kind of doesn't work, because a lot of the reason you can only see into the halo, or into the tower a certain way, is that Witness has, the stacked cake design, which is not shown, I don't think, unless I'm literally blind, in the screen, in the Dark Tower scene. Which basically means it's kind of impossible to interpret. It is worth noting, though, that, while that does make it strange, it's also strange anyways, because all of the beams are straight lines, and so, if you were standing next to a beam, you could just, look alongside the direction that the beam is moving in, and see what the beam attaches to. That means you can see whatever the beam is attached to. Which implies, once again, that the top thingy is the halo? I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know what I'm talking about, really. But, hopefully someone else who watches this does. Wow. I'm pretty sure Liza's gonna watch this, so at least one person will know what's going on. Good luck for the rest of us.